Not a lot of time, not a lot of windows left, too, for international breaks, which is something that Sergiño Dest has very much top of mind. And when he was asked if he's had conversations with Mauricio Pochettino, he said, yeah, I've had conversations with the assistant coaches. Obviously, they are watching me. We keep contact. It's different to meet them all in person. Herc, are you cool with it? We know Sergiño Dest was out 10 months with that ACL injury.
No, this just adds to the narrative of Mauricio Pochettino is preoccupied with other things, with the YouTube matches, those charity matches, with going to watch News Old Boys in Rosario with his friends, with hanging out in Europe, or talking about Spurs, or how much you'd like to go back there. And it makes people feel like the $6 million they gave you aren't going to good use. Like you're not as invested in this national team, in this program, as you should. Because if you would, one would assume if you're very invested, you pick up the phone as soon as you get there and you say, all right, who are the pillars of this team on the U.S. men's national team? I have a Christian Pulisic. Not let me pick up the phone and call Christian Pulisic. You fly out there, talk to Christian Pulisic. Who is
Weston McKennie.
Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, who is Sergiño Dest. And Sergiño Dest, on this level with this national team, is a difference maker. If he's a player is coming back into health, who you will desperately need at some point, I don't pick up the phone. I don't send my assistant. I go fly out there with a medical doctor, with somebody in my crew and say, what's going on here? When can he be back? How do you feel? Etc. Because that's what a national team coach should do. That's especially what a national team coach who's paid the highest amount ever in the history of U.S. soccer has to do. And it just feeds more into this narrative that he's not invested.
Barak?
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like I don't care enough. Like I'm here for the money, right? in few words. And I mean, I think Joe Scally, it's a very reliable player in that position. Still, I agree that Sergiño Dest top. I don't know how will be
post-surgery.
What his level will be after injury. But in his top, he's for American standards top player. And I don't know if Joe Scally is. I think Joe Scally is very good.
Joe Scally is a very good defender.
Not many opportunities.
But he's not Sergiño Dest with the ball.
Different players.
Yeah.
Better in defense probably. Still, you have a phone. You don't have to go if you don't want to wherever he is.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Or Skype.
And you could tell Sergiño felt some type of way about it, because if not, you don't say it. You don't say it. You don't divulge that. You just keep it to yourself. You're like, yeah, we've had contact, with the crew. And you don't say, well, an assistant came to see me. He sent in a message. It was an assistant that came to see me. It wasn't Mauricio Pochettino. So this just feeds more into that narrative, and it's a shame, because at this point, it'd be one thing to feed into that narrative if the U.S. was still doing what they were doing in the Nations League before, if they were still doing what they were doing with Mexico, if they were doing what they were doing to other teams. But it's gotten worse. So it just feeds into that narrative.
13 months and 3 days. To what?
World Cup?
Yeah.
13 months and 3 days.
And we're talking about him just coming back from ACL injury. We're not saying, Barak, that right now he has to be at his top level, right? But he has, 13 months and a few days? It's enough time to be able to truly feel like yourself again.
Of course, yeah. And if he was in the Netherlands, this guy was born and raised in the Netherlands. I'm sure he would be treated differently.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if there's a reaction from Mauricio Pochettino to at least text him and be like, hey, let's coordinate a call, or let's coordinate a little trip here. Maybe he could see him this weekend when PSV visits Feyenoord Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN+.